How many times have you heard that whole model minority thing? The whole if you work hard, you can do anything in this country. Well, it's a myth for a reason. Your favorite YouTuber or political commentator may tell you otherwise, but it's a trap. You know why? Because it's meant to divide us, divide minorities, and keep us competing with each other so that whole system of inequality that exists can be ignored and say, oh, it doesn't exist. Look at this minority. Well, how does this whole myth start? And I'm gonna tell you, it started in the civil rights era, during which the black Americans were struggling to get equal rights. Many newspapers started pumping out this propaganda about Asian Americans, saying, look at this minority, they're so civilized and follow the laws and they're hardworking. And you can probably guess it was to undermine black Americans and their struggles by being like, oh, this minority is listening to us. They're being confined in the system, and these other group isn't. So they're the good, hardworking one, and these guys aren't. But it was the struggle of black American and their fight for equal rights and representation that opened up doors for all of us and allowed immigration to flood into America as well from more Asian countries like South Asia. But that whole model minority thing still stuck with the mainstream media, and they've egged it on continuously, picking their favorite minority to represent. And that myth was still used to divide communities and deny all those inequalities that existed before then. That's still due to this day by being like, oh, why can't you be like this minority or this? And it still continued with things like Latinos, then Asian, East Asians, and South Asians. And over time, we saw it evolve into what it is now with things like Vivek Ramaswamy or Dinesh D'Souza or other Asian groups and African or Latinos that are being used to divide each other and be like, oh, this token minority is better than you because he's a hard worker and he listens to us and he plays by the system that's been created to keep us in the top and others on the bottom. And for some minority groups, they went along with that system. They started acting like how the people who created that system wanted them to be. And for some with the internalized racism in them, they were more than happy because they were guaranteed that proximity to power, that proximity to whiteness. If we're talking about the modern day now, guys like Dinesh D'Souza or Vivek Ramaswamy, they're more than willing to put down other immigrants, even though their own people came from there not too long ago. And they're more than willing to be like that so they can have that proximity to power.
Beholden to the Somali community. He's beholden to the Somali voters. He's beholden to the imams. He's beholden to the very groups that pull off the fraud.
And I'm talking about the South Asian because I'm South Asian as well. So, but there's other groups as well who do the same thing. But guys like Dinesh, oh, they're sickly.
He was radicalized kind of at birth by virtue of being a Muslim, by virtue of embracing these core Islamic concepts. I mean, jihad, in fact, is not exactly some, quote, radical idea. Jihad is in the Quran. So all Muslims believe in some form of jihad.
But to focus more on one group, including my group, the South Asians, we have guys like Dinesh or Vivek who are more than willing to put down other immigrant groups, to talk about banning immigrants from here or there, even though they're immigrants or from immigrant parents themselves. Why? Because that proximity, they can be closer to power and play along with that system because for them, it's just about the money and the prestige they get from it. But what they don't know is by playing with that whole model minority man, they're erasing our own struggles, the South Asian struggle, coming to the new country with a different culture, different background. A lot of them didn't have the opportunity to be upper caste like Vivek or something, who they just came from absolute poverty. Their family were farmers or very poor, and they had to come here and struggle to make it. They don't show that. They just show, oh, I'm the good minority. I listen to the rules and I play by what the white man is telling me. But it erases our own struggle because it just put that pressure on you that, oh, you have to be that good, hardworking, get good grades and be a good little job pleaser type of person. And it stigmatizes our own mental health and creates silence in the face of racism, of the system of inequality that exists in this country that keeps one group on top and the others subservient. And at the end, the cost of being that good minority is your voice. That voice to stand up to inequality that exists and just be silenced and just follow the rules and act like nothing is happening, like everything is okay and that inequality doesn't exist. Because guys like Dinesh are more than happy to stand by his son-in-law, who is a white guy who berates immigrants and people of color, but is married to an Indian woman, kind of like our vice president. Because at the end, he gets that proximity to power, while others have to suffer because of his actions and the actions of his son-in-law. And now look at the increasing South Asian hate that's going on in the world. It's a reminder that just because you were the model minority ones doesn't mean you're gonna be thrown under the bus the next day. And now that's what we're seeing in the South Asian space. We're seeing more attacks in Europe, in America, against Indians particularly, but even Pakistanis in the UK and things like that. It shows that no matter how much Uncle Ruckus behavior you show, you won't be one of them. You'll never be one of them. You'll just be a useful tool. And that's it. Guys like Elon Musk don't give a damn how good you are in IT or whatever. You're a useful tool for him. I mean, just look at what he's up to nowadays. He's on a quest to save the white civilization. Just look at his recent tweets and the things he's saying on TV about Somalians.
You know, Ilhan Omar, who was voted into power, voted into Congress by, a large group of people from Somalia, who are in Minnesota, which is really far from Somalia. Or Mamdani, who was voted to be mayor, but by a majority of people who are not born in America.
A South African immigrant talking about how Somalian Americans shouldn't be able to vote the way they do. Who is this guy? He's basically gone completely insane now. And you can see that. But no matter how much MAGA asks you for their vote in the elections, just know as soon as they're done with you, they're going to throw you out like nothing. I mean, look at what happened to Vivek and his campaign rally.
How can you represent the constituents of Ohio who are 64% Christian if you are not a part of that faith? If you are an Indian, a Hindu, coming from a different culture, different religion than those who founded this country, those who grew this country, built this country, made this country the beautiful thing that it is today, what are you conserving? You are bringing change.
If you're not like a white Christian nationalist, they do not want you in their major positions of power. He was just a useful puppet for them, and as soon as he was done being used, he got discarded like it was nothing. And that's the fate of a lot of other MAGA dudes who are people of color who support Trump and his type of policies. And Elon as well. At the end of the day, don't prescribe to this type of model minority myth stuff because it doesn't exist. It's just created to keep us divided and keep in place of that system that keeps one group at top and the others below them. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and peace.